Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video of Power Contest of Champions. We are going to run Summer of Suffering Part 1 and the fight is going to be against a Destroyer. Now the nodes here are going to be Pressing Matters and Stoppable, Punish Heavy. You get a grit whenever you will punish a heavy attack from the defender. There's also Enhanced Parry, so you will armor break the opponent, Danger Zone, and Prey on the weak. Now, even with these nodes, the fight is so vanilla. Like, you don't have to really worry about the nodes. You just have to know how to fight Destroyer. And think about it as a Destroyer with an SP1 that also roots you. And that's about it. That's all there is to this fight. There's nothing extra layer on it. If you know how to fight Destroyer, you are able to get through this fight. Now, let's talk about the objectives. Now, if you're going to be a Valiant player, you're going to get 3 objectives. And if you're going to be a Paragon, you're going to get 2. And plus, you will get 1 extra point for completion. So, the objectives are, the first one is going to be straight up Villain, is to defeat a Destroyer with a Villain champion. Second one is going to be No More Heroes, so you have to complete Summer of Suffering, the quest with a champion tagged as hero, and also Offensive Burst combat style. And finally is Battle of the Tanks. To complete this Summer of Suffering Part 1 quest with a champion tagged as hero and defensive tank combat style. So pretty straightforward ones, too many champions that are available, very broad categories. So I would say when you pick a champion, pick somebody with a class advantage. And the categories are broad, so there are plenty of different options that can be used. So right now the first one I am using is your hero champion with offensive burst damage, and I am using Spiderham. Some other champions in these categories are also available that can be used. I will leave them on your screen. And for the fight, mostly it's quite simple. Just with Spiderham, just get those power stings up and use an SP1. So with an SP1, you are going to apply a taunt, and because of the taunt, those power stings are going to be paused, and then let Destroyer throw specials. You want to keep him to an SP1, that's fine. Just remember that you're going to be rooted, so you have to like evade that in your place, which is quite easy. It's not difficult. Or you can also push him to an SP2. I personally find SP2 easier to evade if you have the timing down, but if you miss the SP2, you do take a lot of damage. So yeah, so right here again, SP1, and just like that. And incidentally, this was my first attempt on this fight, and Spiderham was attempt number 1. That's why I'm not restarting. I was like, okay, it's okay, about 7% health, I'll die anyway, so but let me check that how much damage I can do. And I ended up soloing him with this in my first attempt with Spiderham. So the fight is quite easy, pretty straightforward. If you know how to fight Destroyer, you can get this fight done. Now Destroyer typically thrives if you use champions against him that have buffs on him. So use any buff immune champions or size champions that don't take any buffs, and you should be able to control quite a bit of what Destroyer has to offer. Moving on to the next fight, this is going to be hero and defensive tank objective. So I'm using a Hulk. There are other options you can be used. If you're going to use a Sasquatch here, he's going to do both the objectives for you. So that's also you can keep that in mind, and you can use a Sasquatch as well. For this fight again, I've tried to bring in class advantage and try to bring in champion who does not take many buffs. And the whole idea here is to play slow and get the SP3 and transfer those physical vulnerabilities. So if you are not aware, and if your Destroyer gains charges, those destruction charges, and when they get to 100, he gains a crazy power gain. That takes him to an SP3, and that does quite a bit of damage. Now, how do you mitigate that? Is you apply non-damaging debuffs on him. If he has non-damaging debuffs on him, you can reduce the destruction charges. So yeah, that's how that works. So, but then again, Hulk is such a strong champion. I don't need to worry about that. Only thing I'm worrying right now is to throw an SP3, and after that, with all of those physical vulnerabilities, I am just going to throw my SP2s, and if he gets to 100 charges and he gets a big power gain, I'm going to spam my SP1s only so I can keep him stunned. So I'm keeping all the stuns from Hulk and do as much as damage with one SP3 and then all of SP2s, and waiting out for the charges when he gets the crazy power gain, and then we're gonna use the stuns to my advantage. So here we are, 45% health remaining. He's almost at 100. And there it is. There is his power gain. Threw in a striker. Got a bit lucky here because he used a heavy attack. That was the opening I needed. And here we go. That's a long stun. And I should be able to do quite a bit of damage with all of those physical vulnerabilities stacking. And then again another SP1. It will be a shorter duration stun, but he has only 9% health remaining. And yeah, that's that. That's how I took down Hulk. So I used an SP3 first. Then I kept spamming my SP2s until he got 100 charges in the power gain. And as soon as he got the power gain, I started throwing my SP1s for the stuns, and the damage did the rest. And finally, moving on to the next one, that is going to be use any villain. So there are quite a few villains that you can use. I just went with the safest option, probably my favorite option. I just love this champion Void. I like the design. I like how, you can slowly dismantle the opponent. So this was a fight made for Void. He's also Incinerate immune, so that also plays to his favor. So the whole thing is that you slowly build up your debuffs. It came through your special ones. Once you get there, you don't need to worry about the power gain at all because it's actually going to be reversed. So right now, Destroyer's at 74 charges. And I'm just throwing my special ones as soon as I get them so I can apply as many debuffs as possible. Now look at that. There's the power gain, but he's not gaining anything. He's just stuck there. So Void is just an amazing counter for this fight. Now speaking of power gains, you can choose champions that have Wither effect also. They can have Petrify also. That can also work here. But I am not sure how potent they will be. She-Hulk has 120% Petrify, so that should work. I'm using Void. He has a lot of these debuffs, and I also run Despair 3x3. So that helps as well. But with the power gain, Petrify or Wither champions can work really well. You don't have to worry about the destruction charges, and you are able to take down just simple. Throw your SP1s, evade his SP1s, and you get through this fight. Again, this time around the fight is so simple that it feels like they're giving us an easy fight to warm up before they give us a difficult one. This is what it feels like. So because the fight in his play style and nodes and everything, it still feels like you're fighting a normal destroyer. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and it will help you clear the Summer of Suffering week 1. If it does, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on the post notifications. All of that really helps me out a lot and helps me grow the channel. Apart from that, guys, I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.